What's going on?
Hey, it's Thursday. Text and ads here again for you. I'm looking my finest in my finest Sherpa top tonight. It's a little bit chilly.
Yes, I think we've lost Ty just briefly there. There he goes. I'll wait for him to come back on the stream. But anyway, we'll start with BTC. So with BTC, what I'm seeing at the moment, and I'll get rid of that. So it's not distracting. There we go. So what I'm seeing right now at the moment with BTC, so there's a couple of levels that I've really been looking forward to. So the first one, obviously these levels here on our supply and demand. So with this recent move, we've obviously been just shadowing or coming down this daily time frame trend line, and I've been really just waiting for this to make its move in any sort of direction to give us some sort of new market structure to push us in a direction, whether it be up or down. So we're starting to get those moves now, which is great. So when we did push off the last time, this last trend line, and it was a level of demand that was drawn here across the side that way. I think Ty's joined us again.
I'm back. Sorry, I've got a new computer this week, just having a couple of technical difficulties.
I think don't use Logic Capture, bro.
I'm not.
Yeah, see how it goes without that. Anyway, so I was just telling the guys we were looking at these levels of supplies and demands right now. The thing that I was really getting into was the front run when we saw the front run at 9,800, where we just fell short of that major level of supply, and ultimately look, the 4-hour time frame, in conjunction with a lot of our technical indicators, obviously RSI, CCI, and Steamroller, picking that top nicely, but pushing us down and really showing that level of exhaustion. So this is the level that I was looking at, and there was no real premise for that to continue up, unfortunately, when we had, this large wick up at about 9,800. So the only move for this on the 4-hour time frame especially was to the downside, and we seemed to break through this level of demand that was drawn across here, and we've just found ourselves at, hang on, I think Ty's disappeared again. I think we've just found ourselves at this level at the 61.8. So in saying this, what I'm looking for right now, obviously we've had more lower highs. If I just get this out the way, we've had more lower highs, lower high, lower high, lower high, and now we're creating a little bit more market structure towards the downside. Not quite a lower low just yet on the 4 hour time frame. Not just a lower low quite yet. Just excuse me. Not a lower low just yet. But we are seeming to form some form of reaction, obviously off that 61.8 fib retracement at 8992. And then now looking at the 50 Fibonacci on the 4 hour time frame to really, give us an indication if we're going to start breaking down from this here. So we are looking at it here is just an automatic reaction off this dump. So if we fail to close above this 50 and move towards the 38, that thing that I said in Discord today, this morning, going towards that 88 level of that demand would probably be on the cards for the immediate term, I think.
We've had a couple of things like this, though, play out in the past. And if you look at something like that, similar sort of thing here, another sort of similar thing here as well, where we get this, like you said, this automatic reaction from this sort of, I guess you would call it like a mini selling climax.
There he goes again. Apologies for the stream tonight. Ty's having a little bit of technical difficulties, but in any case, I can continue. Let me just clear that off the screen. Okay. So moving onwards towards the other pairs that we usually look at. So I'll bring up the charts and we can have a quick squeeze at ETH USD. So the ETH USD on BitMEX at the moment is really doing what I expected it to. So I've got a couple of Fibonacci's drawn in right now. And really I'm looking for, I was looking at this level of rejection, obviously from this pivot point here. So coming up, creating our 4 hour pivot and then coming down off that. And so we did see that a second time where we came across this supply level and did see that wick down, and that was a pretty decent reaction off that supply. That's what you're really looking for when you're trading supply and demand in general. You're looking for these wicks to come in and then get rejected immediately and close underneath our level of supply to confirm that this will be not going any further, confirm it will be a reversal from this, confirm this move is now over, and then coming back down and using our Fibonacci levels from swing low to swing high, and that level there lines up very well with our 61.8 retrace. And if we actually draw it in, because I was actually drawing it from here to here, so I haven't touched that fib retrace drawing as of yet. We can if we like, and more than likely we're going to get honestly the same result. Where we did fall back down to the 61.8 and now making a decision on which direction this market is going to go. If we're going to break past the 50, upwards past the 50, or test this 38.2 level again for a second time. All right. So yeah, that's with ETH USD on the 4 hour. On the daily time frame, however, looking like a different story, but not a whole lot. We're looking at this level of major demand, where we're looking at that $220 level and across alongside the daily level at 250 up on the upper range. Honestly, all we're doing is seemingly ping-ponging, seemingly moving sideways before this market makes a decent decision on direction. And that holds true alongside BTC as well. If we look at that on the daily, if I bring up a chart, where's that chart that I just had up before? There it is. So if I look at BTC on the daily also, we are forming a range, honestly, where we see that 88 level demand, we see our 10.4 level of supply, and we are just seemingly making our way sideways before we, sort of explode in a direction, whether it be to the downside at 8.8 or even further down at 7.8 if we do get there, honestly, if there is enough selling pressure to get there. Or on the flip side of that, move up, break this 9.8 10,000 level of supply, move back up to the 10.4 and then continue up. But that's more of a far-fetched idea right now, in my opinion. So I'm looking more towards that 8.8 level, as I mentioned before, and then making a market decision from there. And ETH USD in the same sort of boat, looking at this, it really does, all these USD pairs really do follow our sideways movement, and then more so looking for more downwards action. Obviously we are sloping down with levels of lower highs there, and we have made a lower low in terms of market structure here on the 15th of June. Oh, is it? Yeah, not quite, we're just nearly all the way through that level of demand. So we'll see what happens with BTC and of course ETH USD in the immediate term. But moving on to one of the other majors that we usually look at is XRP. If I bring it up, where is it? XRP USD we do look at, and we are observing this in sort of a falling wedge pattern, which this is something I drew on Tuesday night, and moving, and we're really looking forward in price action towards these levels of fib retracements, where we see the 50 at 17 cents and 61 lining up perfectly at 16 cents with that level of demand there that we're looking just across to the side or just underneath price at the moment. With XRP, it's a little bit hard to read at the moment because we're really expecting it to fall to the 50 to 61, but a lot of our indicators are getting quite low. Steamroller in particular, but we have been much lower in Steamroller in the past, whereas RSI can get a lot lower too. So I'm expecting some movements to that 17 cent level at least on XRP at the 17 cent or 17.5 cent level against the USD, and then eventually that ultimate target would be that 61 or that level of demand down there at 16 cents. There's a little bit of sentiment happening around XRP at the moment, where there's rumors hanging around PayPal and everything like that. I know PayPal is looking for crypto developers like we saw in the news recently, but there's some rumors that I've seen floating around that XRP could be involved also. So something to look forward to or look out for in terms of XRP USD. Could be some opportunity there in the future. I know a lot of people don't like XRP, and that's fine. It's not for everyone, but look, it could be an asset to trade in the future if there is some news and decent, and I'm talking decent fundamentals available or in the pipeline for that. If we do a quick alt scan, I know Ty had a few alts that he wanted to look at. I know ADA was one of them, so he had it coming up to his like wedge formation in terms of, we're talking about a bull flag. So if we jump on the chart and have a look at that quickly, I know this was the type of formation that he was looking at currently, and more looking for some form of breakout event to happen with ADA, and looking at this sort of bull flag formation where it comes across and then continues up to the upside, where the 27.2 or even back up to retest that 950 Fibonacci or 950 sat level, would be some form of target. And look, honestly, it could do it. It's not something that I would discount immediately with ADA. We are kind of ranging sideways with the RSI. Steamroller is still a little bit high, but it is pushing out a buy signal at the moment. So it could be some premise for a last push or a last movement to some of these upside targets. If we do zoom out on XRP, and bear with me 1 second, I will find some levels that we can sort of assume that would be a target. If if I just squeeze the chart up on the 4 hour to give us a little bit more data to work with here. What can we see? We can see some sort of movement here, for example, where we've got that pause in the market direction, where we've got that movement and then a pause and a continue down. So there's some level of liquidity sitting here to the left, and obviously we've got this major level of liquidity sitting there as well that we need to get through in the immediate term. So if we come back to the chart and pull everything out, yeah, that 980 level, that 980 sat mark on the 4 hour could be a level to look out for if we do get that daily move that Ty was referring to in our Discord or in our inner circle over the course of today. I know another one that he was looking at was ETH BTC. ETH BTC, I know his charts are a little bit crowded, a little bit clustered, but ETH BTC was looking at this falling wedge formation here, or this tightening of the triangle, and looking at that sort of break of that trend line, and then a push towards that 61 fib retracement level, and a look to break above that and close to really confirm some more further movements to the upside. So we'll have a look at ETH BTC. My TA is a little bit different to his. So if you look at his and then you look at mine, but an interesting approach to this one, where he was looking at this sort of formation here, right, where we had that trend line, sloping trend line, and then that breakout, and looking at making some more movements to the upside, something along the lines of this-ish, something like that, where there could be a premise for more upside movements, and this level of demand has been eaten up quite significantly at the moment, and honestly, we need some more volume to come in to this space over the next day or so. This is on a daily chart, mind you, to really push this above. The first thing I'd be looking for, if we're looking for a breakout trading strategy for this sort of asset, you're looking for a break in this daily supply level, whether it be a wick or candle close obviously even better. So a break, and then looking for some relief before a movement to the upside. So that's what I would be looking for if I was looking for further upside momentum for ETH BTC. But some more volume coming into this over the next couple of days will really tell the tale on whether this breaks this level of supply or we actually fall over. What else did we have? ETH BTC he had, so we spoke about ETH BTC and he had a look at the 2-day chart as well, which was very similar in terms of structure. If I just get rid of that, very similar in terms of structure, and a little bit easier to see, admittedly, if we just zoom that out a little bit more, where we've got this very, very obvious level of supply which we're at now, and if we're on the 2-day, we could even nip that up and make that a little larger to give us a better zone, and it's a lot easier to see, and those candle bodies are closing on that level of supply on the 2-day, where we see these 3 candles, or these 2 candles over today, yesterday, and the day before, where those candles closed at 25,257 sats. So that's very, very much a level that's in play right now, using this pivot point, this structure to the left. So moving up and closing, or giving us a higher high in this sort of market structure will really not confirm, but give us a little bit more of an opportunity to move back up to where we got rejected here at 28,421 sats on Ethereum BTC on the 2-day chart. So another couple that I'll look at the BTC dominance chart, where this really gauges our altcoin market in general. So obviously, if the BTC dominance chart is rising, our altcoins are going to be falling. So when you're trading altcoins, if you're trading on, whatever, you can be trading on Binance, you're trading on BitMEX, whatever, you're short and longing alts, whatever you want to be doing, anything against BTC really. If this chart is rising, majority of the time the entire altcoin market will be sort of descending or having a lull, if that's the case. But right now we're seeing this descending structure continue, where we've been held up at that 6-1. but now we've started to close underneath it. So whether or not this continues, I would be keeping this closely on your radar to see if this descending structure, or this descending move towards that level of demand that we've drawn in, and which is been quite accurate so far. If we get that move back down, because that could be the premise for that movement to that movement for BTC ETH BTC. That could be the premise for that movement up, like we looked at just a moment ago. But yeah, I do apologize for Ty's absence tonight. There is a few technical difficulties we do need to work out. But a very quick market scan, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. Some decent information packed into that little bit there. So everyone enjoy your Thursday evening, and we'll see everyone in the Discord. If you're not in the inner circle at the moment, you want to get involved, please visit us at unitytradinggroup.com for your trading guides. You can also access the podcast, and obviously all the inner circle stuff is on there as well if you want to get involved. So thanks everyone, and we'll see you guys next week. Catch us later.